All right, quick hit menu first because we respect your time and your blood pressure. We're riding the Carolina Panthers +3 at Tampa Bay, the Seattle Seahawks -1.5 at San Francisco, and Purdue -6 against Wisconsin. And yes, last slate we went 1 and 2 for -0.93 units. Rangers printed, then the bowl games turned into a condiment crime scene. Arizona spotted SMU 24 at halftime, and Wake Forest dunked our 3 in Duke's Mayo like they were sponsored by Chaos. 1 sharp read, 2 faceplants, which is basically just sports in its natural habitat. Now let's get paid back, starting in the NFC South, where the market is still treating Tampa like it's September, even though it's January, and the Bucs are playing like a phone on 1% battery. Carolina +3, -105 at Tampa Bay. This is the convergence of value and vibes, divisional game, late season pressure, and weather that screams, keep it on the ground and don't get cute. The big headline is Tampa's slide. They've been losing games, and more importantly for us, losing them by margins that keep burning spread bettors. Meanwhile, Carolina has been weirdly reliable in one specific spot. As an underdog after a loss, they've been money. That's not luck. That's a coaching staff that actually uses the film instead of using it as a coaster. And here's the part we really like. The setup screams one-score game. The total is sitting in the low to mid-40s range. And that matters because points get more valuable the fewer touchdowns you expect. In a game that projects like 20-17, a field goal is basically gold bars. We're not asking Carolina to throw a parade, just keep it within a kick, and in a divisional grinder, that's a very reasonable job description. Weather is the great equalizer, and it's showing up with receipts. If we're looking at rain with winds hovering around that 10 to 15 miles per hour range, that's the kind of day where deep shots start turning into punt auditions. Tampa's offense wants to live off explosive plays, and nothing kills explosives like a slick ball and gusty air. It also turns every drop, every bobble, every tipped pass into a mini heart attack, so we care a lot about which quarterback is more likely to hand the other team a free possession. On that front, the trajectories aren't equal. Baker Mayfield has been trending the wrong way late. More misses, more turnovers, more "how did that get picked" moments. Bryce Young hasn't turned into a fireworks show, but he's stabilized. And in this kind of game, we're shopping for least likely to do something stupid more than we're shopping for most likely to go viral. Add in Tampa's defensive health questions, especially in the secondary, and it's not hard to see Carolina stringing together enough drives to keep this tight. And let's not ignore the situational psychology. Carolina's scenario is clean, win, and you take the division. Tampa's scenario is win, and then stare at a scoreboard like it's a stock ticker. That win and wait vibe is how teams get tight, start pressing, and suddenly a 3rd and 2 turns into a hero ball pass in the rain. We take the points, we take the cleaner motivation, and we take the team that just beat this opponent recently and knows it can do it again. Next up, Seahawks -1.5, -109 at the 49ers. This is the kind of game people want to handicap with brand names and feelings. We're not doing feelings, we're doing structure. And structurally, Seattle matches up like a crowbar against San Francisco's biggest pressure points. First, let's talk about the line itself. When the public sees a great home team getting points, they reflex click it like it's a skip ad button. But when that flood of bets doesn't move the number the way you'd expect, it tells us something important. The market is not scared of being overloaded on the home dog. Translation: the people setting the prices are fine living on that side of the risk. We don't have to romanticize it, just respect it. Now the matchup. Seattle's defense is built to erase what San Francisco wants to be. The Seahawks are elite against the run, like brick wall elite, which matters because the 49ers' whole ecosystem is run game, play action, timing, and staying on schedule. If Seattle turns 1st and 10 into 2nd and 9 all night, the 49ers start living in 3rd and long, and that is where the problems multiply. The biggest domino is the 49ers' offensive line health, especially at left tackle. If that spot is compromised at all, it changes the entire menu. It's fewer slow-developing shot plays, more quick game, more get the ball out before the pocket turns into a crime scene, and that plays right into Seattle's plan, because Seattle can sit on routes, disguise coverages, and force Brock Purdy to be perfect over and over. That's a tough ask against a defense that thrives on confusion and punishes hesitation. Meanwhile, Seattle's offense gets the soft landing. San Francisco's pass rush has been nowhere near what we associate with that logo. If Sam Darnold is going to have a good day, it's usually when he's not getting hit on the back of his 3rd step. Clean pockets let him push the ball to their top target, and that's where Seattle can tilt the game with just a couple explosives. We don't need a masterpiece. We need Seattle to win by 2. That is 1 late drive, 1 red zone stop, 1 thanks for the short field turnover away. There's also a sneaky situational edge, the short week dynamic. If one team is dealing with bruises and linemen who need time to heal, Losing a day matters. In a game this physical, that extra recovery and prep can be the difference between we're fine and why is our right guard moving like a shopping cart with one bad wheel. We'll lay the small number and trust the more stable defense to decide the game. Finally, the college hardwood. Purdue -6, -110 versus Wisconsin. First thing we're doing is appreciating the comedy here. Wisconsin is trying to reinvent itself as a faster, modern offense, and unfortunately for them, they picked the exact week they have to play the most efficient scoring machine in the neighborhood. That's like deciding to learn juggling during an earthquake. Purdue's case is math, not mystery. They're an elite offense that doesn't rely on prayers. High percentage looks, great spacing, and a point guard who turns possessions into open shots like it's his side hustle. But the separator in this matchup is the possession battle. Purdue is an absolute menace on the offensive glass, grabbing an insane share of their own misses. Every one of those boards is basically a stolen possession, and stolen possessions become stolen points, especially against a defense that's been leaking at the rim. Wisconsin's home record looks pretty in a snapshot, but context matters. Home wins are not all created equal, and when you step up in class against a top-tier team that can score inside, outside, and then rebound their misses like it's a loyalty program, that home aura gets tested. And there's another situational wrinkle we like. Early January can mean a different building atmosphere than peak student section season. If the crowd isn't at full throat, the classic home court bump is smaller, and Purdue's veteran guard play travels well anyway. So we're laying Purdue -6. If Wisconsin wants to run, great. More possessions for Purdue's efficiency to show up. If Wisconsin tries to slow it down, also fine. Purdue can still win the margin with second chance points and execution. Either way, the structural edge is Purdue owning the glass and turning one possession into two, over and over, until the scoreboard starts telling the truth. That's the card. Panthers +3, Seahawks -1.5, Purdue -6. Same rule as always. Shop your number, don't chase, and if today gets weird, remember, the only thing more consistent than variance is Wisconsin fans pretending they didn't just watch Purdue get a 12th offensive rebound. Let's cash.